In this lesson, we will learn the first main function of Focus, and this is the so-called text prompt. And we already tested the text prompt when we created the cute little animal. But in this lesson, we will learn all the details and also some advanced settings regarding that main function. So let's have a look onto my screen. As you can see, I'm already here at the starting screen of Focus. And if you don't know how to get there, please go back to the lections before and check out the lections about the installation of Focus. Good. But now we are here, and the first thing we can do is to click here on Advanced. And then we get more settings and more possibilities to change parameters. And I would always recommend that. And before we start with the actual text prompt, I just want to give you a quick overview about the platform, and then we will learn all the functions and parameters step by step when we go through the main function and in further lections into the expert knowledge. Good, let's start. As you can see here, we have the main prompting window. And in this window, you can enter, for example, a text prompt, how we did it already in the lecture before when we created the cute little animal. But now, as we have the advanced settings, we can do even more. For example, down here, we have the negative prompt. And in this negative prompt window, you can type in things you don't want to see in the image. For example, we could type here grass, and then we would get a cute little animal, but no grass. Maybe the animal would sit on top of the tree. I don't know. But this is just to avoid things in the image. But more on that later. Then up here we have the possibility to change between PNG or JPEG. This is more or less the data file. And most of the time I just go with JPEG because this has a little less amount of data, so the files are not that big. Here we can select how many images we want to create, and most of the time I just go with maybe 2 or 3. It depends. But as soon as you have a nice image, you can also stop the generating process and just take the image you got. Up here you have the possibility to select the speed and the quality of the generation process. And most of the time I recommend quality because the quality is just better. And down here you can select the aspect ratio. So this is the default, which is like a quite flat image, but you can also do, for example, this, which is the Instagram format, or you can do a vertical, something like that. For this first example, we just take this Instagram format, which is a 1:1 aspect ratio. Good, then we close that. And up here you have some further settings, for example, styles, but we will come to that later. At that point, I just want to let you know that if you select, for example, a anime style, you could easily create an anime cat or whatever image you want to create. But for the first examples, we stick with the standard settings. Same here, we have in this section the possibility to change the base model. And as you saw earlier, we already installed the Realism Engine, and here you find the new base model. And for the upcoming exercises, we will use the Realism Engine to go through all the examples. And all the other settings and LoRa's, we will leave it as it is for now, but in further lections you will also learn how to install different LoRa's and so on. And here we have even more advanced settings. And if you click here on the developer debug mode, there are even more settings. So as you can see, and as I already mentioned earlier, this is what I like at Focus. So in the beginning, it's basically very plain and simple, but if you want and need more settings and parameters, you can customize the whole interface. And this is really, really nice. Good. Now you have an overview about the platform and the interface. And now we start with our actual text prompt. We did already the settings. We selected the Realism Engine. The styles, we leave them as they are. And also here we did some settings. And now we just type in the first exercise. As I already said, you will find this exercise sheet also in the download section, and we will go just through the exercises, but feel free to test out your own prompts or your own images to do the exercises. I think this would even be more fun for you. Good. So we try out this nice prompt. We copy it, we go back and we type it in here. A hyper-realistic portrait of an 80-year-old guru wearing a yoga outfit standing in a temple in India. Okay, let's see what happens. And the first time you hit generate, sometimes it takes longer because the first time you generate images, Focus is still loading some models in the background. So the whole process just takes a little bit longer. And when this is done, I will come back to you. Good, we are almost done with the first image, and just a little further information. For example, you could just hit here skip, then the generation process of that image just stops and the next image is generated. That means if you, for example, already see that you don't like the result, you just hit skip and another image is created. And you can also stop the process when you click here on stop. So we wait now until this image is done, and then we will have a look to the results. So 2 of our images are done, and now I would just stop the process because I really like the results we have. So let's have a closer look. This is our first guru, and it's a really, really nice image. Also, this one looks very, very good, and I think Focus did a great job with that text prompt. Good, that's it for that lection, and in the next lection you will learn how to do image prompts. So stay tuned.